Hello and welcome to Angry Andy Reviews, and this is my belated review for The Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 2, The Mines of Mandalore. Interesting. So, let's get straight to it. Mando travels back to Tatooine to collect some droid parts. He's still trying to get hold of this part for the IG unit. The Jawa's like, nah mate, we don't have that kind of stuff. No issues. He moves on. Peli Motto's there, and she's like, well, why don't you take R5? And R5's like, nah, I ain't going on no journey with you. R5 is the droid from A New Hope that R2-D2 apparently now, in some sort of side canon, convinced to self-destruct in order to go on the mission to go with Luke. Cool. I just thought it was just a dodgy droid, but however, so yeah, R5's like, nah, I don't want to go. It's dangerous. And he tries to retreat, and everyone's like, nah, go on, you'll be fine. So yeah, Mando buys a droid. Did he always like droids? I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, so they go on a lovely journey. They head off to Mandalore itself. Finally, we get to see the live action sort of response, that's not the right word, live action sort of repercussions to the Empire decimating it a couple of decades beforehand. So here we go, we get to Mandalore. It looks absolutely completely destroyed. It looks fantastic, I have to say. The visuals for devastated Mandalore are superb. Really invoked a lot for me in terms of Terminator 2. You know, the opening of Terminator 2. You know, that we see the devastated wastelands of Los Angeles. We see, complete ashen devastation, grey, all of that. It really invokes that kind of feeling, that kind of sense of devastation. And obviously that harkens back to the episode in the Book of Boba Fett where we did see a bit of a flashback. We saw sort of like, the Empire with the TIE bombers doing the bombing run and nuking, the entire site, glassing it completely. And then we saw the K2 droids, the security droids, those resembles K2SO from Rogue One, coming through the fire, very Terminator 2. And we get a lot of that. We get a lot of those visuals here. We get a lot of a sense of those kind of visuals, that kind of feeling, the complete, utter devastation. Moving forward, Mando sends out the droid to, do a scan of the area, see if there's breathable atmosphere. He disappears. So Mando goes, all right, then, I'm going to have to go in. And, they head down, they find the droid. Mando has a bit of a struggle, has a bit of a fight with some geezers. Surprising, there's life on Mandalore. Shocking. Didn't see that coming. And, the R5 droid says, hey, you can breathe. So he takes Grogu into the mines, and they go deeper and deeper into the mines. Again, we're getting a sense of the tightness of the sequence from Lord of the Rings. We also get a tightness in terms of Alien as well. There's a lot going on in this episode. A lot of themes. The way that it feels and looks. It's very dark though. It's very dark when Mando's fighting these creatures. You can't really see that much. Even with the Darksaber ignited, which he's still struggling with, he still struggles in this episode, you can't really see what's going on. And they go further into the mines, and Mando's attacked by a giant spider mechanical being creature thing, and he's buggered. He does shit, and Mando's captured by this creature, and Grogu's like, no, I'm going to go and get some help. Grogu magically remembers how to get back to the shuttle. He gets into the Naboo starfighter, and he navigates himself to Bo-Katan. So here we go. There's another element to Grogu becoming a fully fledged Mandalorian in his own right. Being part of the Creed. He navigates himself across the galaxy. There was a subtle hint to that. Not really all that subtle earlier on in the episode. And Bo-Katan's like, well, what are you doing here? And she realizes Grogu and goes, where is he? All of a sudden wants to help. Bo-Katan arrives, goes through a bit of exposition about Mandalore, explaining how beautiful it all looked, how beautiful it used to be, how many people used to live there. And then she finds Mando completely encased in this weird like a metal mesh, and he's being drained of his fluids. It's quite disturbing, and this mechanical spider creature's like, yeah, it's going to be great, it's going to be tasty. Bo-Katan fights it, picks up the Darksaber and uses it with ease. Interesting sort of visual cues there. For me, it appears that Mando is not. Obviously, we know this. We know he's not right. We know he's not right for the sword. We know he's not right for the Darksaber. He has somehow pulled the Darksaber from the proverbial stone. He is not the king, though. And Bo-Katan wields it with such proficiency and ease, almost as if the saber has chosen her. Interesting. She defeats the mechanical creature, and there's a weird sort of John Carpenter's The Thing moment where the head separates and wanders off. And she thinks she's won, and then it comes back again in the massive mech spider suit, and she again defeats that with ease, no issues. Again, very dark visuals. You can't really see all that much, which is a bit disappointing. Could have wrapped it up just by a nodule of 10, just so I can see a little bit more. And of course, Mando's rescued, and everything's happy, and they go off together, and there you go. Yeah, a very forward-thinking episode, really. It does progress the individual story. From this point, Mando goes further into the mines with Bo-Katan. She leads him to the lake, to the waters that he needs to go to in order to be cleansed and, be accepted back into the creed. And Bo-Katan's like, nah, this is all bollocks, mate. This is all rubbish. Don't believe any of it. And Mando unsheathes his cloak and takes out his weapons, and he slowly steps into these waters. And it's all very spiritual. He's chanting to himself, and he falls in. He falls into the water. At first, to me, it seemed as though he got pulled under. And, oh God, here we go, there's another threat. Yet another threat endangering Mando that we know is going to go nowhere because it's only episode 2. Bo-Katan dives in and goes to get him. However, there is no revelation of anything dragging him under the water. So ergo, when he's walking down the steps into the water, he doesn't utilize the power of feeling his way around with his feet. Instead, he just trundles in like an absolute berg and sinks to the bottom of this massive lake because of the weight of his armor. What a fucking idiot. It's laughable, really. Bo-Katan goes in, rescues him yet again, and when she's on the way back up, she sees this giant creature under the water. And it's the Mythosaur, apparently. And she has this moment of realization of clarity. And, of course, Mando is perfectly fine, no issues. And there we go, the end of the episode. What really pissed me off about the ending is that we were having a really great spiritual moment, as I said. Mando, firmly believes that this is what he needs to do. Bo-Katan is of the other side. She was cleansed in these waters when she was a child, but she's dismissed it. She doesn't believe in it anymore. She's forgotten the magic of Christmas. And instead of having this powerful moment where she sees what Mando's doing and goes, Christ, he's a firm believer. Can we not have a semblance of connectivity? Can we not be different people and yet have these same, connections or, different factions of people, that do believe in this to make our civilization better? No, he falls into the lake and we must have action. Why? We have all these action sequences rather than playing with the important parts. We could have done this in a different way. Mando could have gone into the waters, been completely cleansed, and while he's in there, unbeknownst to Mando, the Mythosaur in the background comes out and really sends home to Bo-Katan, what it truly means to her, to Mando, to different people, to different Mandalorians. Their civilization's gone. How do they create a new one? Well, perhaps this is the way. There you go. But no, we have a stupid, pointless action sequence that, yet again, Mando's in trouble for no reason whatsoever. Mando has become, a side character in other people's stories, and we're seeing that. We've seen that in these first 2 episodes. He's going from place to place to place. He's picking up quest. Where's the forward drive for him, really, beyond this episode? Where is the forward drive for him? What is he doing? Where is he going? What's the point? Where's Grogu going? What's the point? Everything's been answered already. Peli Motto, we go back and see her again. I thought her story was over when she created Naboo Starfighter. fine, fair enough. She acts as a quest giver as well. She acts as, comedy relief, but it doesn't feel like it's going anywhere. It feels like this is Bo-Katan's story, how she's going to unite the factions of Mandalore, and Mando himself, Din Djarin, is just going to be stood there in the background, looking all sullen through his mask, while Grogu gets, his own helmet. We've already had this little tease, we had this little nugget in the first episode of a youngling, a foundling being given the helmet. In the second episode, Mando was saying, to be a Mandalorian, you must know how to navigate. Grogu fucking navigates back to fucking Bo-Katan, no issues. We're getting little nuggets, and Disney likes to sell toys. You're going to get a fucking Grogu helmet Mandalorian style. I'm fucking telling you. I'm giving it you right there and then. And there'll be 17 different Black Series action figures. There'll be 2 different Grogu helmets. There'll be cuddly toys. There'll be everything. And I'm not being cynical, because I'll buy them all, because I'm an arsehole. I'm just painting the picture of obviousness. Where is it going? I don't know. And that's my biggest question. That's my very biggest concern. I don't think there's anything particularly wrong in, the writing. The dialogue's obvious, choppy. There are times when people are talking, you just think, well, shut the fuck up. Let the scene play out. We're adults. There's people watching here that, don't need to be explained to every 5 seconds. If there's dead air and you feel the need to fill it with pointless dialogue, then where's your confidence in what you're showing us? So, bit of an up and down journey start to this series. There's some good action in this. The visuals were spectacular, but the overall drive of the story, the actions that happen, mismatched all over the place. Bit disappointing. Where do we go from here? What's the end game? What's the long-term run out? I don't necessarily need the end game now, but I need to have some sort of semblance and some sort of acknowledgement to where the journey's going. Are we just going to mince around between Tatooine and, go and see Greef Karga? What's going on, Greef? Oh, I got this mission. All right, then. Are we just going to fanny about around Mandalore with Bo-Katan while she's moaning that nobody ever wants to do anything with her anymore? Take us somewhere else. Come on. Let's go on a wild journey. There's nothing keeping anybody in place. There's no anchor point except characters. So there we go. I waffled on a bit there at the end. I do apologise. But there you go. That's my review for Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 2. And I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. That's where I'm going to settle. 6 out of 10. I want more. I want more quality and clarity and something else. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please do like and subscribe to the channel for more reviews of this kind. More wafflingness. So yeah, thank you very much. Bye-bye.